She's rising up, heart full of grace. With every step, she's paving the way. Through every storm, she finds a light. With faith in her soul, she's ready to fight. From the pain, she finds a power, turning trials into golden hours. Challenges don't stand a chance. She's on a mission, taking a stand. Empower her to succeed. Fuel her fire, plant the seed. Let her overcome, let her lead. She's the potential the world needs. With love, with faith, with every breath she takes. A transformative story is what we make. And this is her life, this is her creed. Empower her to succeed. Not just a dreamer, she's a doer too. Breaking ceilings, breaking through. With every voice that lifts her name. Together we rise, we shift again. She's more than enough. She's made to rise above. When the world says no, she answers with love. Empower her to succeed. Fuel her fire, plant the seed. Let her overcome, let her lead. She's the potential the world needs. With love, with faith, with every breath she takes. A transformative story is what we make. But this is her life, this is her creed. Empower her to succeed. With Kereisia and Shanea, hear her rise. This is where challenges meet purpose and dreams touch the skies. Empower her to succeed. Empower her to succeed. Fuel the fire, plant the seed. Let her overcome, let her lead. She's the potential the world needs. With love, with faith, with every breath she takes. A transforming story is what we make. And this is her life, this is her creed. Empower her to succeed.
Good evening to everyone tonight. We are so
Hi.
excited to be on tonight again here at the Empower Her to Succeed Talk Show. Tonight promised to be an impactful night as we will be discussing a particular topic and we have two guests behind the scene. I am your host, Dr. Kereisia Brown-Lyesam, and tonight with me, as always, is our co-host, Miss Shanea Johnson.
Hi, good night, everyone. It's great to be here tonight.
Shanea, you look so relaxed. Like you had a great weekend.
Yeah, the week has just started and it's a rough one, but we navigate.
Yes,
We are
you're a woman
navigating.
who knows how to do so.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
yes, welcome to the Empower Her to Succeed talk show. This is a show that helps women to unlock their potential. We as women, we are here in our expert area to help you, to support you in whatever way we can. And so, Empower Her to Succeed is not just a talk show, it's also a program that is designed to help you in every area of your life as women. Sometimes, Miss Johnson, life is not easy, don't it?
No, it's not. It's challenging. It has its challenges. And there are times you'll feel like you can't navigate the challenges. But sometimes you just need a little pep talk, a
Yes,
little word of encouragement to boost your energy and to get you back on track. And that's what we're really about tonight. And that's what the Empower Her to Succeed talk show is about. Empowering women and men as well. But we're really focusing on women's empowerment to go out there to achieve, to thrive while succeeding.
yes. And so tonight we have decided, to use as our topic monetize, monetize your skills. Explore ways to turn your skills into income generating opportunities. And we have our guests tonight who will be having this discussion with us, sharing their own experiences. Because when we talk about our traditional jobs, with the amount of bills that we have, is it easy for us, Miss Johnson, to be able to take care of those bills?
Not at all. The traditional jobs alone cannot work.
That's work.
No, not at all. It cannot work in this day and age. We see where the cost of living is increasing, and year after year. Just yesterday, I was actually saying, I remember when I was much younger and buying a bag juice during summertime. Time is hot and all of that. Getting a bag juice for all of those who are in the US or overseas, you probably know what bag juice is if you come to Jamaica often and get one, or what you guys have as a juice box, but it's in a bag per se, a plastic per se, right? And I was just saying yesterday that I remember when bag juice is for $10 and $5,
And
and
now it's
it's for $50. One is for $50, and it's not the Cal's bag juice; it's the regular bag juice,
the regular.
the regular.
And
So
that's like 40 cents US, no so?
they're
They're
about,
about or 30
yes,
cents US. When you're
yes,
talking about remembering, I remember when I was a teenager, my grandmother used to make her own homemade bag juice, right? I
mm-hmm,
would call it bag ice. And I
yes,
would have to go to the playground and sell it, especially when there is an event.
yes,
But we don't see any of that nowadays.
no,
These young people have become so sophisticated and they don't want to
yes,
drink any bag juice if it's not in a bottle. Well,
yes. So the traditional jobs are not cutting it. But we definitely have to monetize our skills. The Some of us have multiple skills and talents that we need
yes.
to utilize. And whilst utilizing, of course, we can definitely benefit from them.
Okay. So I am sure that our audience are waiting to hear from our guest tonight. Or in fact, we have two guests, and we are going to be bringing them on stage. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Empower Her to Succeed, ladies. We are so happy to have you tonight.
Thank you for having me. Happy days.
Yes.
Welcome.
And how are you feeling tonight?
I can
Well,
say for myself, I'm tired.
You're tired.
Yes, we actually have, we're in graduation season. I actually have something to do for graduation that I must do it tonight. So,
Okay, okay. But we are so happy to have you on tonight, Miss Ruth and Grindley. And I am sure that some of your tiredness will go after you leave this space, right? And we are happy to have Miss Jodi and Simpson. And as I said before, our topic for tonight, just to show, is monetize your skills, explore ways to turn your skills into income generating opportunities. Just before we go into the topic, Miss Ruth Ann Grindley, can you just share and tell the audience who you are?
So again, good night, everyone. My name is
Good night.
Good night.
so I by day job, business banker, and then by night weekend, I am many other things. I'm a decorator, I'm a wedding planner, I'm a beekeeper, I am I rent stuff, and I also am in the space of retail. So I do many things, and it's not easy to balance, but I get satisfaction from everything I do. I was raised in a family that they always had something else going on with their jobs. As a matter of fact, my parents left their 9 to 5 and started their businesses, and I was, I'd say, working in those businesses from I was a teenager. So I'm accustomed to having something else. Some people call it a side hustle. Some people will call it, other businesses, but it is in my nature to be doing other things for myself. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And you spoke about side hustle and so on, which we are going to be talking about also in depth. Thank you, Miss Ruthan. And we would have spoken, in past discussion about, parents training up their children. And you spoke about your learning from your parents. And it's very important that as parents, we ensure that we instill certain character, characteristics within our children because those are lifelong learning. All right, thank you, Miss Ruth Ann. You can go ahead, Miss Jodi and Simpson.
Good night, everyone. So, I am a trained teacher by profession. I'm not in the training institution just now. I work with the ministry, one of the ministry, and I'm a mother of three, and I'm married. So I do the baking on the side. After work, I'll do baking, and I'm now in the process of basically taking on my second cohort that I offer baking online. So for me, I have been aware of the buy and selling or selling products. As a child, I remember my mother, she's a Iglo, and she normally takes us to downtown Kingston where we normally sell items, at Christmas time. And I remember even so she normally used to package her mangoes to go to the small island. So that's where I would get some of my entrepreneurial skills from, as well as my grandparents. So that's it for me.
Very good. And we see where we want to shout out to all the parents out there who are listening who would have been instilling, a certain skill set within your children. Because we're going to talk about this topic. I know that there are some people who are for the topic and there are others who are against it because they think that just a traditional job in itself in these days, when you have so many bills to pay, and some of these bills, just like the internet, we can't do without the internet. We must have the internet, because it has become a part of our lives, and so you have to pay for it. And so there are many of us. I am in a traditional job where I am a lecturer, and I have to do some things on the side too. I have to look on the skills that I have and see how I can offer service So it is very important. Miss Johnson, you have something to say. I see it on your face that you're bubbling, ready to say something.
I think it's very good where persons are able to utilize their skills to a point where they're so good at it that they're able to earn an income from it. Because a 9 to 5, as I mentioned earlier, it will not cut it, basically, right? But you are able to gain some independence, once you are able to control your time, your hours, and so on. You doing the work for yourself and working for yourself, making your money work for you, and so forth. It helps to kind of give you that confidence too, that you're and that job security that it's dependent on you to utilize these god-given skills and to earn something from it. And not only that, both ladies, you mentioned your parents, you know doing some form of entrepreneurial work, and that's where you would have garnered your early entrepreneurial skills from early years of entrepreneurial experiences and skills. And I think when we do have skills and talents that allow us to be able to earn from, it can become a business. It can become something more than just what you can do as an individual, but know what you and your family can do together. And you find that in doing so as a family, you're bonding even more. Your bonding gets a bit tighter with your family. You're able to spend more time with the family in a sense, and this can be a legacy that you pass on to your children, and it just goes on from generation to generation. So I think it is really something we should be thinking about, especially in the age that we're living in. So, what I'm going to be doing as well, ladies, for those of you who are online on YouTube, Facebook, feel free to leave your comments. As Dr. Lysam said earlier, you may agree or you may not agree with the topic. Leave your comments. We're definitely always willing and ready to discuss what comments you have or your point of view. But we're going to get into our questions for tonight, or discussion rather for tonight. And I want to find out, starting with Mrs. Simpson, what inspired you to pursue monetizing your skills outside of a traditional job, and what skills did you start with? You mentioned that you do the baking, so you're a cake baker, right? Or is it only cake that you bake? What did you start with? Was it that? And what really inspired you to pursue monetizing that skill?
Thank you very much for asking that question.
No
Okay,
problem.
so I remember after leaving the University of Technology, I was not working for a couple months, and I remember we did bulk baking. And I remember that Christmas I normally bake for family members, and that Christmas in particular, I was just not working, and I was there saying to myself and thinking and praying, what is it that I can do to earn some extra funds or to receive an income at the time? And I remember I didn't have a recipe per se for the bulk in terms of fruit cake, but I had the recipe for the other cake. So what I did was I got that recipe from a church sister of mine, and she showed me how to double it up. I doubled it up and I started baking from then. Afterwards, I got employed to the Heart Trust NTA, and I was there for over 5 years. So at that time, I'd now give the baking a break or rest it a bit because I was working. And I remember after relocating, I was not working again, or my pay at the time could not help to pay the bills. The pay was not enough to pay to cover all the expenses. So I had to go back to baking, and that's what, with the inspiration of others, family members, and friends, inspire me to know think about this as a business where I can monetize it, because persons were saying to me, you don't need to only offer the fruit cake now for Christmas, but you can now offer the birthday cakes, the wedding cakes, the anniversary cakes, and all of that. Yes, so that would have been it. So what I did was to try to work on it and to develop my skill set in that area, as well as when I'm not doing that, I try to write papers or review papers for different entities that offer food and nutrition or hospitality, tourism, and management.
Awesome.
Okay.
You want to go
Yes,
ahead, Dr. Lysam?
Go ahead, miss. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Simpson. So I'm hearing out of what you just shared that you were actually encouraged to by your family members, seeing that you have this talent, why not make use of it? And you were taught as well how to expand the little you had and the little you know. But what I liked about this part of your story is that you didn't just, finish university and not be doing so, though you were trying to get a job. You there's this period where you're waiting and you're not hearing anything, but you utilize what you had, and that was your skill. And can I tell you how God worked in mysterious ways, because you got that call from the right place, Heart Trust NSTA, right? And for those of you who are not in Jamaica, the Heart NSTA Trust is a institution that teaches skills and provides certification in various areas. So whether it's food and nutrition, electrician, plumbing, all the skill set areas you can think of, cosmetology and so on. That's the entity in Jamaica that really certifies, one of the main entities that certifies for skills training, right? And I'm sure during that time, did you feel somewhat downhearted or discouraged, not being able to find something at the time? Did you feel a little downhearted or discouraged?
yes, I was discouraged because after leaving university and you would have spent that money and you have student loan to pay back and a lot of different things or expense. Of course, you'd feel a little downhearted and discouraged at the time. But I remember, as I said, I was baking in small batches, and something just inspired me, and I realized that person was saying that these cakes that you bake taste exceptionally well. We need another one and another one. And I also remember that after leaving Heart Trust, I remember a friend of mine, I would have met Ruth at the bank, JN Bank, and I remember one year she would have called me. Yes, I was down at the time, and she called me to tell me that her cousin at the time was working somewhere and she wanted 50 cakes, 50 fruit cakes to bake. So that for me was the talk of the day. Or that would have even encouraged me a little bit more, because at the time she wouldn't know that I was not working or I was a little down. So for her to call me out the blue, say, "You still the cakes?" And I mean, I had to take a sample to her, for her to convince her cousin to purchase from me. And from there on, then her cousin, she not only purchased those 50K, but every year I have to bake cakes. And in that batch or whatever batch I prepare, I have to ensure that her cousin gets hers out of it, because from that she would have ordered her Christmas.
Look at divine alignment right there. Look at that. Indeed, God is so good. You see, a little is much when God is in it. The one cake, the one basket, as our grandparents would have said before, really. One cocoa, really full basket. And I'm just gonna switch gear a little to go over to Miss Ruth and Grindley. How about you? What inspired you to pursue monetizing your skill outside of your traditional job? And what skill set did you start with?
Okay. So I was inspired because of necessity. So I actually started when I was in high school, my lunch money wasn't enough and I started a partner. And when I realized that I could earn by being the banker, I said, okay, that means I should keep on doing something. So that was my first taste of doing something on the side. And then when I left high school, I was working with my parents, but I wasn't satisfied because I'm still working for somebody. So I thought of what is it that is not around that I could sell. And at the time, it was fashion jewelry. So I found a wholesaler, and every time I would deliver food because my parents had a restaurant, I would show my wares. And I realized that I have a knack for selling, I have a knack for sales. So I'm going to continue. But somewhere along the line, situations change, circumstances change. And then I ended up working a full time job in a different city. So I was settled in the job for a while, went to school, got the degree. But I went through a life transformation because I found Jesus. And that is when I started saying, okay, I need to know what my purpose is. I need to know what the Lord called me here to do. And there was this burning inside. So even though I had the job, I was not satisfied. I was just dissatisfied with everything, how my life was going. I questioned myself, is this it? And I remember going in and saying, I need to know what my purpose is because I have all of these passions bubbling up inside of me. I want to create. I just want to create. I just want to create. And that's where it started. The first thing I did was said, in my mind, I want to be an interior designer. So the first thing I did was sign up for a course at the same Heart Trust. Big up to Heart. Heart really helped me. So I did that interior design course. And from there, I realized that, oh, it's not just interior design that I really like. I really like decorating. So I had to go down and say, okay, what is it in decorating I like? I like doing functions. So that's where it started. The first thing I did was blow up some balloons, fancy them up and take a picture and start an Instagram page. That's where it started for me. And from then on, I realized that I love to create. It's not just decorate. It's anything at all. I do flyers sometimes. So once it has to do with making something, giving something beauty. My logo is creator inspired beauty. That's my tagline. So it started from there, and then through life changes, through a series of transformation, it it evolved into other things. So it started in decoration, and then it evolved into the honey and all the other things that's currently going on. Yes.
And later on to the audience, we will be showing you some of the products that these ladies have been, preparing and using their skills, to monetize. Go ahead, Miss Johnson.
I was going to ask you if you want to take on another question
Okay.
for our
Well,
guests.
one thing I want to say is that if you would have listened to the trend of Ruth's story, you would have seen that she said that she was a banker in the partner, right?
Yes.
And in essence, she is now a business banker at Sagicor. So it tells us that, we can start training our children, or we can start, developing our purpose, our futuristic purpose from we are actually small. And we're going to talk a little bit about purpose, because I am sure that, and I've seen, your service and benefited from your service before. And we talk about cake and tasting. And I must say that from the last time I've tasted Miss Simpson's cake, I can remember the taste now. Right. And I'm trying to be funny here. Right. Because I must say that you bake lovely wedding cakes, and the taste is not just an introductory taste, but it is lasting. And I want to say that if there is anybody on who will be getting married soon, well, Miss Jodi and Simpson can be referred, because she's not just talking, but she is really good at what she does. And we will show some pictures later on. And in terms of Miss Ruth, and it's a reason why we would have selected these ladies, because we trust their service, and they are good at what they do, and they can speak to the topic. Because as women, we want you to understand that, you can identify your skills. All of us have skills. Let's talk a little bit about that. All of us, God gave us some form of talent, and we are skillful. And I want to say that if you think that you don't have any skill, then learn a skill. So let's talk about that a little for a minute, because there are some persons who think that I'm not as skillful as Kereisia, I am not as skillful as Jodi, I'm not as skillful as Shanea and Ruth. I cannot decorate like Miss Grindley. And Miss Grindley, you do such a great job when it comes on to decoration. You decorate with passion. You put yourself into it. And I just want you to know that, ladies, you can, if you think you don't have any skill, you can develop your skills. All right, because it is very important that we understand that in today's society, the traditional job is not cutting it, 100%. And gone are the days when only the men would be working, don't it? And so as women, we have to, work too, because they say one hand can't clap. So let's, talk a little bit, because we're here on Empower Her to Succeed, and we want to empower women out there. We want you to know that all of us have a skill, right? And sometimes the skill that you have, you might need to develop it. And every skill today is needed. It's how you package your skill and put it out there. And I must say to you that when it comes on to like even a plumber, even a woman doing construction, sometimes they make more money than us who are in the traditional job. Do we believe that? Let us just talk a little bit about that. Who is for that? Or who is against? Do you think that? Go
For,
ahead.
for. I am for, because I've seen how tradesmen, especially, and women, I mean, they set their rates, they set their hours, they're in demand, because a lot of people, the skill set, the pool is shrinking. I mean, I was looking for a woodworker, and the pool to find a good cabinet maker, it has gone down. I am now thinking, do I need to go and learn woodworking, because I have access to certain resources that I can use? So when you talk about skills and trade, I mean, you said we all have something, and we all have something. I remember having a discussion with a family member who said she wants to do something and she has no idea what to do and where to start. And I said to her, the first place you need to look is your passion. What do you like? She said she can't identify anything. I said, do you have any hobbies? She said, no. I said, the question I put to her is, what do you find the most fascinating on social media? What is it you spend most of your time looking at? And when you do see it, you don't scroll past it, you stop. And her answer was exercise. So I said, that's it. Do you love to exercise? She loves to exercise. She loves working out. She loves finding how to lose weight. And I said, that is your passion. That is where you need to focus. How can you monetize this passion? Is it that you're going to be a trainer? Is it that you're going to offer some service in terms of how to lose weight, become a nutritionist, whatever it is? So our passions can help us drill down on the area that we can actually improve and work on to monetize.
Thank you, Ruth. You made mention of you learning to be a cabinet maker. Um, we see that a lot of women. This is very interesting. You know. Would you go into that field, Miss Ruth? Do you think that that's a male-driven area, or females can actually, venture into jobs like those?
I've seen females actually doing it. It's just that because of the rigorous, physical demands, most men do it. But we're in an age of technology now where there's a lot of machinery. So women can do anything. We are not limited. We are engineers. We are constructioneers. We're everything. So we are not limited. So I definitely would. Yes.
And to say that, just to let the audience know that we are not feministic, right? But we are talking about the realities of life out there. And sometimes, that will make us survive. All right. And we can't go around that, because sitting down will not cut it. And just the traditional job, 9 to 5, getting paid at the end of the month or bi-weekly. Sometimes if you have something else coming in, then of course it will help you to survive. It will help us to, to swim and not drown into our financial debt and crisis. I understand about that. We are not talking anything here that we are not used to, because we don't want you to feel as though, we're empowering you only. We are women who have gone through a lot of situations, and we have been empowered, and through the purpose that the Lord has placed within us, we are now wanting to empower you that you don't need to give up. There's something out there that you can do, right? And we are more in a liberal age now. And as I spoke about packaging, just package your skills properly. If you don't know how to do it, find somebody to do it. If it is even talk, it's still a skill. And Miss Shanea Johnson is an expert at public speaking. Maybe I can just share a little. I watched a video with this lady. She was working at the market for years, and she has a funny character, and she has now moved out of the market and is now on Instagram and TikTok and making a lot of money. And she is saying that this is what is putting bread in her family. And she's also saying that I don't need to go out there and try to sell. And that is her testimony, because if you find an opportunity that works for you, then go ahead. Because different people, some people, like my grandmother who used to sell at the market, I used to go with her when I was a young girl. But sometimes, I don't want my classmates to see me, but I still, would go with her. And I've lived to see where that was what provided some amount of money to help the family to survive.
Awesome. Kereisia mentioned that yes, I do public speaking, and the funny story is that sometimes you don't see or identify your purpose, but others around you may be able to see it so clearly and point it out. More recently, Mrs. Simpson has, been encouraging me some time ago when we met. And can I tell you, from I was younger, quite young, I used to talk a lot. I used to talk a lot. I was considered the village lawyer, to the point where everybody thought I was going to become a lawyer because I'm going to stand up for my friend. If my friend is in any trouble, I'm going to stand up for my friend. I'm going to speak on behalf of my friend, and guess what? My friend will tell me her side of the story, and I'm going to defend that side of the story from I was younger. So persons thought that I would have become a lawyer. I wanted to pursue law, but there were certain things that changed over time, and I'm still open minded, but there were certain things that
Not too
changed
late.
over time, and I've been able to pursue the career path that I chose. Because by profession, I am a journalist by profession, and I still would need to talk, do my interviews, do my investigations where necessary, and so on. So that passion has been inside from earlier, and persons around me, especially those who are closest to me, would be able to identify, hey, you can chat. Them used to say that. But I knew that I wanted to speak with power, speak with to empower people, speak in a sense where I'm in a public setting with people to just motivate and encourage them and so on. I even remember before I graduated from Clarendon College, that's my high school. Before I graduated, I remember one prize giving ceremony. The guest speaker, when the guest speaker was finished talking to us, delivering their remark, I felt so empowered, motivated. I started looking at different things in my life, and I was like, hey, if the guest speaker, he shared his story, and if the guest speaker was able to speak like this and I am empowered, I want to have this impact on young people. I want to have this impact on those around me as well. And it became more so profound when I finished university and so on, and I realized that, hey, this has been a passion from before, and you've been doing it. And so, having gotten the opportunity to go through university, did a whole course on public speaking, and then transitioning into work, having to do public speaking as part of my work, you know, um, I've seen where I've grown, and I know that I'm just saying, for those who are listening, right? For those who are listening, sometimes you don't see the passion, you don't see the talent, you don't see the skill, as Miss Grindley pointed out, but it's for you to just take a look really within yourself to see what comes out even more, what you're passionate about, what drives you, and that with that little start, because you only want to start, and when you start, then guess what? Your passion, your skill will blossom into something even greater than you could ever think or imagine. So I want to encourage somebody tonight. Don't give up on yourself. You were born with a purpose. Sometimes, yes, I used to question myself, what is my purpose on this earth? Because I'm not really seeing it. Yes, I hear people say this and that, but I'm not seeing it. But until you realize the passion, the skill, the purpose, then you'll be driven and motivated to continue living this life and to fulfill the mandate that you've been given on this earth to fulfill. You're still with me, Kereisia? Okay, you're hearing me.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes. So, could we say that purpose can be likened to passion?
I believe so. I truly believe so.
Okay. Um, Ladies, my question to you is, even though the skills that have, you have a passion, for doing them. Did you have to do form of any personal development, to develop yourselves more in it?
Yes. Um, if I
Or let me just ask the question another way. Even though you're passionate somewhat about, the skills that you have, is it important for one to have some form of further development?
Yes, it is important because you need to be aware of what is happening in your area. You need to do your research. You need to find out what the persons that are in your field, that whatever it is that they're doing, that you can help to come up. So in other words, even though I'm doing cake baking, it's a niche, and person might say, but that area is oversaturated. No, it's not. You have to do your research, you have to come up with your strategies and to find out what is it that you can do to ensure that you continuously deliver and give back, give to that niche that you're offering your products and service to. So it is critical for you to, you can do self-development by self-talks, or you can find something or someone that you can get the training from to improve yourself or to improve in that particular area or skill.
Yes, and for those persons later on in the show who are interested in learning to bake cakes and decorate, of course, Miss Simpson, she has a course that is ongoing, and we will be sharing that with you later on. Seem like you're saying something, Miss Ruth. We're not hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So to answer the question for me, if you want to be good at something, you have to continue to invest in that skill, in that talent in yourself. The year that I'm in decorating, there are trends. Trends come and trends go. You need to know what is happening now. What do people want at their functions? What is the look? What's the in thing? You need to keep yourself abreast and updated. Another thing I did, and Mrs. Simpson mentioned it, is join with somebody who is an expert in the field. My cousin is an expert in the field. She does weddings for the Pegasus AC Hotel. And I join with her because I need to understand the trade a little bit more. I need to understand the business, how it works, what the clients want, who are the clients, how to get the clients. You need to join with somebody who is already established. If you can't join with them, mentor, ask them to be your mentor. Volunteer yourself to help them in the field, because that's how I got a lot of experience in event planning. I asked my cousin, do you need any assistance? Can I come to this event? And that's how I learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. Because you can have the skill, but you don't really know how to market yourself. You don't really know what is happening in the field, in the area that you want to be in. So find an expert, research on social media, and equip yourself and continue to equip yourself because things are moving so fast, trends are changing so fast, and you want to be ahead of the game, if not in the game.
So
That's
how
true. Go ahead, Miss. Yes.
So, and I have listened to both of you ladies, and your passion for the different skills that you possess, and you guys so far, based on what I've heard and know, you guys are pushing and you're conquering. But there comes a time, and I want us to, talk freely. There comes a time when you may feel as though you're not motivated. So, what keeps you motivated? How are you able to stay motivated and disciplined when you're working? You're doing, both of you wear different hats, many hats. How do you stay motivated and how do you maintain a balanced life? Because I believe that balance is also key in allowing you guys to become successful.
Okay. All right. All right. So for me, I was demotivated at one point, and I remember a client out of I would have baked a cake for her probably about 3, 4 years ago. And she said she was searching for me desperately. She said, I saw some things on Instagram and I was just searching for you. What happened to Jodi? What happened to Jodi? So she went into her phone, she went all over just to find me. She said to me, I'm getting married and I need you to bake my wedding cake. That's one customer. I said, really? Okay, that means I'm doing something right and I need to continue. Then I had another client that called. She said to me, Judy, you know how long I've been searching for you. Sunday is my birthday. Do you think you can make a cake for me? I don't want nobody else to bake the cake, honestly. So I said to her, I was here thinking and thinking, and the fact that you called me, that's just another inspiration just to tell me to continue. And then I have my girls here that they said, Mommy, remember the customers. Remember that you can make the lovely cakes for the customers. So I have my um, customers, my clients before that would seek me out. I have my children, and of course, I have my close friends that will tell me that you can't give up, that this is a legacy that you have to pass on and you have to be motivated. You have to do it now for the next generation and the generation to come. So there are days, of course, you get demotivated and you can't bother. But of course, when you go back, you get a little motivation or somebody nudge you, whether it's a word of encouragement on the social media or from a friend or family, you go back and you look back in yourself and you say, hello, this is the reason why I should continue to press. Let me just quickly share. I remember I wanted to do the baking course online. Always want to teach baking, but I cannot find anything like a location per se. And I remember going to my daughter's school and I said it to two parents or so. I said, are you interested? The auntie said to me, yes, of course. I'll give you my information. And there are some other persons at church would have seeked me out as well. And she said to me, when are you going to start? When are you going to start? And hence I start my first cohort of baking online because persons would tell that, hey, it's not possible. And how are you going to bake online? It's not possible for you to bake because practically you have to be face to face. But I'm saying to them, the fact that I've been in the area for so long, I know what to look for as the expert to know that it can be done online. So those are my few words.
Okay.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Miss Grindley.
All right. So, I mean, in everything, there is lull. It's not going to be always up and running, there are gonna be dry seasons, dry periods. When those dry periods come, then you need to remember your why. Why did I do this? Why am I doing this? Why do I need to continue doing this? Your why is very important. It keeps me. So I am encouraged, yes, by family and friends, but for me, I need to remember my why. And my why is I have a bigger purpose than just making money. Somebody needs my service, somebody needs my creativity. My why is I have plans for my future. I need to establish, something, as she say, a legacy. Mrs. Simpson, I need to establish a legacy. So your why is important because we're gonna get demotivated. There are times when there are no jobs coming, and I'm saying I'm advertising on social media, I'm promoting. Why am I not getting anything? Those are the times when you have to remember why you started in the first place.
I tell you that the Lord is speaking because I was going to say at the end that based on what you both are saying, is that your why is important. And when I heard Miss Grindley saying it, I'm smiling. I don't know if you guys see me lighting up over here because I'm like, yes, exactly. You have the passion, you have the drive and so on, but there comes a time when you will get downhearted or a little doubtful, discouraged. But guess what, once you know what your why is and you're sticking and holding on to your why, then you'll definitely push through in spite of how you feel, in spite of what's happening and so on, right? And for those of you who are in relationships or you just have people that you love overall, there are times you don't feel like loving them. No. But when you know what your why is, when you know what your why is, then you'll continue and you'll push on in spite of how you feel. I like that, Miss Grindley and Mrs. Simpson. Your motivators are your little ones, and just a word of encouragement goes a far, far way. Dr. Lysam, I see like you want to say something, so I'm going to give you the floor.
You didn't have to stop, you could continue, because the why factor is very important. I am actually smiling because there is a lot of things that I do, and I have to think about why am I doing it. And one thing recently, sometimes there are many things that you're doing, and you really have to, assess why am I doing it? Because sometimes the things that you are doing, maybe, you know, you're not to be doing it. And sometimes the things that you are to be doing, that's what you really need to do. And even with the things that you need to do per se, you will feel discouraged. You will feel like you can't make it. It's just like going to work. You get up Monday morning, you feel as though you don't want to go. But then for some, when you remember that you have to pay the bills, then you get up out of the bed. For some, when you recognize or remember that people have to depend on you because you have certain responsibilities, then you get up out of the bed. So in everything that we do, there is the why factor. Why am I doing it? Should I do it? Or if I'm doing it, why is it that I'm doing? And based on this answer that you give, that's what is going to cause you to last. That is going to cause you, to survive through those low period, right? Based on how you feel or whether you don't have any money or, somebody discouraging you. Your why factor, is what is going to cause you to last. Just like a business. What's their mission? What's their vision? Why am I in existence? What are my products? And based on that, that's what is going to allow the business to survive. Right?
Definitely, totally agree. But what I want to ask you, ladies, is to leave a word of encouragement to somebody who may feel like they're stuck or they feel not so driven because they're unsure of their skill. I need you just to share in brief a word of encouragement to someone right now. And you can go ahead, Mrs. Simpson.
Right. All right. So for me, I want to encourage that person that whatever skill they have, or they're not sure if that particular skill that they have is just to. The Bible says that He gave one five, He gave one two, He gave one two, one another one and one five, just to work on you as an individual. Pray about your situation, pray about the skill and your purpose, and try to work on you. Stay in your lane. I notice, if you notice, when Asaka Powell, Shelley and Fraser and even Bowles, they are running, whenever they're in their lane, they never dare to look left or right. They have to focus on the finish line, whether it is that they're going to come first, second, or third. So I want to encourage persons to work on you. You know, it's not easy, but work on you. Try to figure out what is it that I am good at. Pray about it, and the Lord will show you one way or another.
Okay, so um, to encourage all of the ladies and the men out there who feel like, you know, there's nothing I can do, there's always something that you can do. It doesn't matter how small it is. And the smallest thing can turn into a conglomerate. The smallest thing, you can mix juice. I've done that when I was in a period of unemployment. Even now, you mix your juice and you go to the local shopkeeper and say, I have some juice, you can sell them for me. There is always something. So I want to encourage somebody tonight. What is in your hand? What do you have in your hand? You know, if is it that you can write very well? Is it that you're good at storytelling? There is something that you have that the rest of the world needs and the rest of the world can benefit from. It doesn't matter how small it is. And as Mrs. Simpson says, if it's even one talent, God bless all of us with something. You just need to probably quiet your mind, listen, pray, ask God, show me what it is that I should do. I've done that over and over and over again because I have so many ideas sometimes I get lost. So, zone in, focus, tune out the noise, and one thing, do not compare yourself with anybody else because you're completely unique and your gift, your talent is unique to you. So, yes, that person can speak well, or that person can paint, that person can bake. I can't do any of that. That's not for you. If it's not for you, it's just not for you. But you have something unique. You have something special. It can be anything. You can take pictures well. It can be anything. You just need to zone in and say, I know there is a talent or talents that you have given me, God. Show me what it is and help me to use that. That's my encouragement tonight.
Beautiful ladies, thank you so much. You know, almost make me ready, for preach. What is it? What's that? That's in your hand. I remember Moses right now. Oh my word! But I'm not going to preach tonight. I'll ask Dr. Lysam to do the preaching.
I was listening to hear you preach for a minute or two. So go ahead and preach, man.
No. Yes, because for real, sometimes we are looking, and especially when we have the mindset that we have to have it perfect and have it right in our midst, we have to have it right, then we'll know that this is the passion. Indeed, it is truly what is in your hand, what is inside of you, what can you do with your hand that you notice that when you do it, You do it really good. You mentioned Miss Grindley, that even if it's to take photos and you take it well, because trust me, that area, that skill is now so advanced that you have persons who are not working a 9 to 5, they're photographers and videographers, and quite they're making a living, and they're living well. I know a few people who are photographers. I do take photos as well, right? But I don't go into all of it yet. But I do take photos as well, because that's a part of what I'm required to do, right? A part of my job. But I know people who make a living from photography. And when you see their work, you are left in awe. It's almost like, even though I don't need to take a photo, I might dress up today and go take a photo because their work is that good, right? And I really hope our audience or viewers, they have heard the encouragement, they have listened, and that they will be taking at least one thing that they've learned from our discussion tonight, and to really put it into action. Because you see, when we talk, we empower, we motivate, and so on, but we want you to do the action. The Bible does tell us that faith without works is dead. And we can be talking, we can be motivating and encouraging, but if you do not put in the action, and the action can simply be sit down and say, what does Shanea like to do? I love to sleep, but is that going to make is that a skill? But guess what? Oh, I love to talk, and I like doing sign language. So I think I can improve on my sign language. We have YouTube technology, so much available to us at our fingertips in this day and age, and we can definitely improve our skills using the tools and technology that has been given so freely to our generation. Because if we have this at our fingertips and we can use it to encourage us and to uplift us and to upskill us, why not use it? So I hope our listeners, our viewers, were taking notes and they're motivated to tap into their skill sets, because they want to monetize their skills and to one day become free financially. Who knows? That skill might just allow you to be the next Bill Gates or Bezos. Yes, who knows? So over to you, Dr. Lysam.
Who do I want to become? The next Kereisia.
Yes.
Whatever the skill is, you know. But just to look at what our audience is saying in Facebook. We want to thank you for tuning in, for those persons who are watching from Facebook. Kerry and Kelly is saying, I used to make and sell almond drops in primary school. And Mr. Turner is saying, good night. And Miss Cecilia Lynch is saying, knowing your why. So it's important, for us to know our why and use whatever we can use, to bring in additional um, money. Do you think that money is the root of all evil?
I, I don't think money is the root of all evil, but I think is that the love for it. If you'll go out of your way to do anything to get it, then the actions that you do can lead to sin, which makes it become evil.
Okay, can I just add to that? Because I struggled in my earlier days with, wanting more money and, balancing what the Bible says. And after doing my research, I found the scripture in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2, and I'm going to read it for the audience. It says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Now, that scripture speaking directly to investment, but investing in 8, having 8 streams of income is the same thing. It is an instruction from the word. So there's a reason why we need to have a wide portfolio, to have different ventures. One of the reasons is when disaster come upon the land, we will always have something to fall back on. When your job does a separation and you're on the list, you will not be left wondering what am I gonna do now, because you've already had 2, 1, 3 other ventures invested in. So you don't have to worry to say I'm going to fall flat on my face.
Can you repeat that scripture? Because it seems as though you had it, like you plan
I
to give a
think
speech. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2.
Awesome. And as you mentioned that the period of COVID came to mind, it was in COVID a lot of persons discovered their skills, their inner skills, their talents, and some of them have been able to, you know, leave their jobs, their 9 to 5, and to establish their own jobs, become their own bosses. And for real, if we invest in several streams of income, several things, then we'll be able to prepare for whatever may come our way. Anything at all, whether it's famine, it's a disease, even death. Because if you're able to have something stashed away and there's a death in the family that you are able to contribute to, you don't have to think too hard to see how best you and your family will be able to put your loved one to rest and put them to rest in a proper manner, right? Yes. Dr. Lysam?
Okay, so I am sure that the audience is waiting to see some of the work that these two ladies have been doing. Miss Ruth spoke about invest. So as a business banker, she has been doing a lot of investing. Just talk to us a little bit about investment, or as a banker, as a business banker. Just give us some nuggets here.
Okay, so my role as a business banker is to assist businesses with their financial goals. So whether it is that they want a loan to expand their business, purchase equipment, whatever it is, if they want to invest that money to get a return in financial instruments, that is my role. I look at their operations. So if they approach me, I look at, what can they afford to do, what do they have to do, and I look at the different ways in which I can help them. So I have to understand how the business operates. I have to understand the needs, the market, the client, and everything. And it helps me to really zone in on what is important, in terms of the expenses, in terms of profit. I have to assess all of those things. And for me, it helps me to organize my business, to see the financial side of it, to understand what is required. And there are some things that will bleed us. There are some areas that will bleed us: overspending, not having a wide enough margin markup on the product or service. So that's just some of the things I do as a business banker. So if you have a business and you're looking for funding, or you just want to start from opening a business account, because opening a business account is the foundation. because you must show what the business is making through an account. You cannot show it through a cash purchase. And many persons, they shy away from opening a business account because they think that it's too much, the requirements, the red tape. But in the end, it is a necessity if you are serious. Only if you are serious about business, then you need a business account. Other than that, you can continue to use your personal. But if you are serious about expanding, if you're serious about, you know, growing your business, one of the first things you need to do is to open a business bank account. That way, your revenue can be recorded and it's there for eyes to see. Yeah.
So it's very important that we go into business if we can. And we can turn our skills into businesses.
That's the end goal.
So if someone wanted to talk to you, how can they contact you?
Okay, so they can contact me on my number, and my number is 876-322-7510. So you can get me on that number in working hours between 8:15 to 5. I am reachable on that number.
You want to repeat the number?
It's 1-876-322-7510.
Okay, thank you for that. And you will be seeing that, moving along the screen. So if you need to contact Miss Grindley, then you can contact her and get additional information. All right, so let's go into, if Miss Johnson has nothing else to say, or Miss Simpson, we are just going to be showing some of what you have been doing.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to be playing this video, and this video um, demonstrates some of what Miss Ruth. So right there, you are doing some form of catering. Maybe you can just go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so it's just an add-on to the event planning, because once you're in the space, you see the different areas that you can monetize. So in the event planning space, you have the decoration, you have the food, you have the music, MC, all of those things. And I have a knack for, let's just say, food. So I went into that portion of it. So I not only decorate, but I also cater. And my specialty is the cocktail hour. We do the dinners, we do the 3-course meal, but I specialize in the cocktail. So that's what you just saw just now.
Beautiful.
That was Bob Marley's premiere.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was a part of the team that did the florals for the outside of the Carib Theater. So I did the leaves. That was one of my creations. I also do balloons. That was a 50th birthday party. So balloons, and of course Jamaican logwood honey. It's the best in the world. And that is my brand. It is called Old Top, and it's named after my grandfather, who was a beekeeper, the first beekeeper in this community. So after he died, and I decided to continue his legacy. So I am a third generation beekeeper.
Wow. So you wear a lot of hats. Beekeeping, wanting to be a carpenter, a decorator, a business banker. What else? Because I have known Ruth for some time and every finger has something.
An aspiring author, that's next thing. I hope to
Yes.
have that book published before the year ends.
But you're an author, you know. It's just that you're not yet a published author. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, because you would have written your book and moving through the process. All right. So thank you so much. And from what you have just done, what I've just shared, just take a minute before I move on to Miss Simpson and just encourage, women to turn their skills into something that they can monetize.
So, um, encouraging the ladies again. There is something inside of us. We are called woman because we have a womb. And I've seen and heard many times that if you anything you give a woman to do, she will turn it into something. So we were born to nurture, we were born to help and to turn whatever we have into something useful. So as a woman, you have something useful inside of you. Whether you are a motivator, whether you are a nurturer, a mother, whatever it is you have, there is something inside of you that somebody wants. So I'm encouraging the women today. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you have something. You might think you have nothing at all, but there is something that you have. And I'm going to reference the Bible again. The widow only had a small bottle of oil and some flour, but that was something that she didn't even know could have multiplied. Some of you just have enough ingredients to make some pudding or cake. That is enough to make one cake and to maybe sell to a canteen in the neighbor, a school canteen, etc. You always have something. So I encourage you to search within yourself for what you have to offer. Something that represents you, something that has has you all over it. And it's my encouragement for you ladies. Pray about it, seek the Lord, and He definitely will. He showed me when I was searching. I asked over and over, what is it that you would have me to do? And his two words were, you are here to create and you are here to serve. And I had to dig deeper, create what? And through the digging, he answered the question. So I'm just going to encourage you ladies to, pray about it and seek the Lord, and he will show you where your skill is, where your talent is, and where he would want you to put your energies. That's it.
Thank you. Well said, Miss Ruth and Grindley. And I believe that the Lord would have been processing you for such a time as this. And your name, Ruth, is not just an ordinary name, but I believe that there are some aspect of, our characteristics or work that the Ruth in the Bible was required to do. And so you are called for such a time in the kingdom, to help to liberate other women and also to showcase your skills to let others know that they too can do it. All right, and I'm so happy for you. Congratulations again, Miss Ruth, for everything that you have been doing. From the time I've known you, I admire you because every time I talk to you, you're like, I'm going to start something new. And what I like about you is that you learn how to balance everything that you're doing, and that is good, right? All right, so let's move on to Miss Jodi and Simpson. I see you smiling, you know. All right, so we're going to showcase what Miss Simpson would have been doing, and she spoke about, cakes. You can talk a little bit about this cake, Miss. Let me just make sure that I get the technology right. Go ahead.
All right. Good night, everyone. So this is one of my signature cake. It's Bailey's vanilla cake. That's one of my signature cake, and this cake was actually done for one of my customer. It was her 60th birthday party, and it's actually a two-tier cake. She wanted a square cake at the bottom as well as a 8-inch cake round on the top, infused with Baileys. So it's a vanilla cake infused with Baileys buttercream icing as well as Baileys inside of it. Decorated with Rashera chocolate, a little gold on it, as well as painted grapes.
You can go ahead.
So this cake was inspired by a customer of mine. That this is one of the customer that called to say that I've been searching for you and I need you to make this cake for me. This actually it's a 6-inch heart-shaped cake, and of course she wanted Baileys in it. So one of my signature cake is the vanilla Baileys. All right, so this is my beautiful 6-inch cake. This cake was actually with strawberry filling. It has crushed sliced almond on it as well. It was infused with chocolate and it was topped off with whipped topping as well as fresh strawberry. All right, so this is my signature fruit cake. This is done at Christmas time, and I usually decorate it nicely. So it's our Christmas traditional fruit cake, and it's done from the heart.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the online class.
All right, so my online class that I offer, it's done once per week for those persons who do not have the time to go in to a classroom setting and you want to learn at the comfort from the comfort of your home. I will basically guide you through the process and I'll basically guide you through the process and ensure that after you're finished, you are a certified baker. So it's for 8 weeks and it's done online. So the practical, so what happens is that I usually teach the theory first. So it's 2 weeks of theory. I will do my demonstration, and then from that, the other um, participants will do their practical. It's graded, then usually decorate it, and then at the end of it, they'll get a certificate of participation.
And in the making, you will be having a cake show one of these days, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, just one other.
Okay, so from time to time I do offer specials like for wedding cakes and stuff like that. So this wedding cake offer would have ended June, June month end, right? So from time to time we do have special offerings. And if persons call us and we have a special deal going on, of course those persons will get their discount.
Can you just share with the audience that you actually have a registered business, Simon Streets?
Right, yes. So my registered business is Simon Streets, and we do offer cakes for all occasions, wedding cakes, anniversary, birthday, any cakes that you need, we do offer it.
Okay. All right. So, is there any upcoming offer, or you're about to send out that?
Well, so currently just now we don't have any offering, but we'll be offering something soon, and as soon as I do that, I will send out the flyer.
And so you can visit our social media page and you will see a lot more of our products there. They are very attractive. And I must say that you have been doing an excellent job. I had the opportunity to visit with you to a wedding, and even though I we did this era together because we went to UTech together, I must say that you are doing an excellent job, right? And even though we did the same things at the university, you have a passion even than myself, and your passion is shown in the work that you do. And we just want to encourage you, Mrs. Simpson, to continue to, flavor up people's life, people's wedding, birthdays, and so on. I like to give a little joke now and then. And there is one other thing, because you don't just do cakes and so on. You bake other things, right?
Um,
You bake other products.
we do other products such as puddings and stuff like that, but we don't just the puddings for now. So the
Okay.
puddings will be the other products that we basically do.
And you deliver island wide, right?
Right, right. Okay,
Okay.
so for online class, I should have mentioned it. So we're having an upcoming online baking of yeast goods, and that's where you learn to bake your breads from scratch, your cinnamon rolls, right, Auntie Ruth, your uh your sugar buns, your breads. So if and any at all you're at home and you want to do a bread and you want to incorporate your stuff like a carrot bread, you want to utilize our Jamaican products here, a callaloo bread, you know, a carrot bread, you can basically log on to that class and from there and then you can start monetizing. After you've learned what you have learned, then you can go ahead and start monetizing and offering.
Thank you so much, Miss Jodi and Simpson, Mrs. Jodi and Simpson. Miss Shanea Johnson, do you have any, concluding arguments or anything that
Just
you want?
sorry, just to say that both women, both ladies, your products, your skills, I've seen them on display, and your products are very lovely. They're beautiful. We have a gorgeously blessed one, Virginia, who's always, tuning in and so on. That person says, wow, amazing. So they're definitely looking at the stuff that were displayed. And I must say, I'm proud of you, young ladies. I'm proud to see what you are able to create and to just go out there and take the world by storm and allowing your skills to shine, and just, being you. The products I've seen so far, they're very much beautiful. And as you guys mentioned, whatever it is, you have an upcoming book to be published, Miss Grindley. So whenever that's done, let us know. We'll definitely inform our audience as well, so that they can definitely partake in purchasing one of your books, as well as Mrs. Simpson. We will advertise for you and allow persons to get your information to whatever they're interested in, whatever they've seen. I'm sure you may get a few contacts after this is published, is posted, right? And we will definitely have to help each other, help each other. I am still going to get my cake, no worries. Yes, I'm still going to get my cake. Yes, but beautiful ladies, beautiful, beautiful. Continue to do what you're doing. Keep going, keep pushing. The sky is not the limit. Yes.
I just want to also share that these women, they have traditional jobs, and we can see that they are doing, you know, great things out there. Miss Simpson is, um, well, let me just say this, because I am passionate about the family matters too. Miss Simpson, I'm very passionate about the family matters. And if you would just take a minute and just, say something about your family matters.
All right, so we would have had our Family Matters conference last year, which would have been the first Family Matters conference would have launched. Sorry, and this was inspired through, the family itself. The family is the foundation. It is the backbone, and God requires for us as kingdom ambassadors to have a strong foundation, and that is the family, and hence why the Family Matters conference or the Family Matters would have birthed. So you'll see us next year, and we'll be there. We'll be offering. We'll come in full force next year with the Family Matters conference. God bless you.
I'm so, thrilled by everything that you are doing. And as Miss Shanea Johnson rightly said, that we are here to support. And that's the purpose of Empower Her to Succeed, that we work together, as women to support each other so that we all can succeed. Right? It's not just one goal. There are many goals. So we can work together and help each other to fulfill our God given purpose. Tonight, we want to thank you, ladies, Miss Ruth and Grindley and Mrs. Jodi and Simpson, for taking the time out to come and to share with us on the topic Monetize Your Skills, explore ways to turn your skills into income generating opportunities. This is not just a talk for them. We would have seen this, and would have heard from them what they are doing. And they are telling us that whatever skills you have, you can develop those skills and, of course, monetize it. Because according to Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 2, you want to share that with us again, Miss Brindley, what the Lord says about invest, because we want you to know that Empower Her to Succeed basis is on the principles of God's word, because we recognize that the word of God is our map that guides us. It's a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. And so we are powerful women who would have been through many challenges. The Lord has helped us to navigate those challenges and to achieve success. And so now we are here empowering you because we were empowered, right? What the Lord says He wants us to do, Miss Ruth and Grindley?
It says invest in 7 streams, even 8, because you don't know what destruction can come upon this land. Paraphrasing.
Yes, and there's always the opposite of everything. We don't know what opportunity will come to. So
That's
let us do what we can do. We know the story about the talents. God has given you a talent in the form of a gift and or a skill. Improve on that skill because the world is out there waiting to be served by you. Do not look on other people, right? You are by chance your own person. Just understand the why factor, and work hard so that you can succeed. All right, Miss Johnson, I know you always like to have a final say before we move on to closing out.
Well, you've said it all in a Kereisia. You've said it all, and our beautiful guests, based on their encouragement tonight, I'm just hoping and trusting that our audience has listened, but will also do the work that they have to do in order to thrive while achieving success.
Okay, so thank you so much. So if it is that you think that you're not skillful enough, you can find out what your skills are. And most time that is your passion. And whatever your passion is, you can work on it, turn it into your purpose, as it's your God given purpose. God has given you a purpose that you need to be responsible enough, work at it, and to serve the world. Serve the world doesn't mean global. It can be in your community, it can be in your family, whatever it is. I want to say to you tonight, as women, that we too have to help our husbands. And whatever we can do, let us monetize it in an ethical way so that we can get additional funds that we can use to help us solve any financial situation. We want to thank all the guests who would have tuned in from Facebook, from YouTube, and also LinkedIn. It was a pleasure having you tonight and to listen to the discussions, remonetizing your gifts, to listen, from experienced persons such as Mrs. Jodi and Simpson and Ruth and Grindley. I want to give God thanks for this mission, empower her to succeed. And I want to thank tonight our co-host, Shanea Johnson, for always doing such a great job. Next week, we'll be featuring another topic. And so we're encouraging you to, to tell other persons about Empower Her to Succeed so that they too can tune in. Remember that we are here to support you. So anything that you're going through, you can reach out to any one of us. And we will stand with you until you are successful. Until next week, we want to say to you, have a good night. Be encouraged. Know that with God, all things are possible. God bless you as you listen to our theme song.
She's rising up, heart full of grace. With every step, she's paving the way. Through every storm, she finds a light. With faith in her soul, she's ready to fight. From the pain, she finds a power, turning trials into golden hours. Challenges don't stand a chance. She's on a mission, taking a stand. Empower her to succeed. Fuel her fire, plant the seed. Let her overcome, let her lead. She's the potential the world needs. With love, with faith, with every breath she takes. A transformative story is what we make. And this is her life, this is her creed. Empower her to succeed.